Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and today we'll be reviewing the Golden Globes. What a hot mess this show was. My goodness. I'm recording this right after watching the show, and I honestly still can't decide what was the bigger mess. The Golden Globes this year, or that Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati game I had to watch last night. Both a complete disaster, all in one weekend for America to comprehend. So let's just recap this award show, shall we? We're going to start with the non-awards business, beginning with Ricky Gervais. So if you know me, you know I like kind of mean-spirited humor. Thus, I think Ricky Gervais is pretty funny overall. And I think for the most part, his jokes landed overall throughout the award show. However, every now and then he would hit on a bum note, people just weren't having it. And there's always just this general uncomfortableness when Ricky Gervais is in the house. I did not like the multiple transgender jokes that he dropped. He had one at Caitlyn Jenner, which, aren't we over that by now? I think let's just move on from that whole saga, shall we? And then he had one pointed at Transparent, which is a multiple awards winner. Very serious, very good show. And they have to keep on listening to this homophobic, anti-transgender joke nonsense. And then one aimed at Eddie Redmayne later in the show. Again, it did so much to kind of propel the transgender community into the spotlight this year with the awards campaign, just to have some tired, old, ridiculous jokes thrown at the star. So I wish he hadn't included those. But outside of that, I mean, he was very offensive and in your face, and I don't think they'll ever be asking him back again after this time, because he took a lot of jabs at the Hollywood Foreign Press and the Golden Globes themselves, and really kind of made them look stupid. So I don't think it would be in their best interest to have him come back and berate them on their own stage, but I guess we'll see. They've brought him back for a fourth time, so anything's possible. I also noticed terrible film work from whoever was doing camera operations. They were either way ahead of the actual people speaking or way behind the people presenting the awards. So you were only really looking at the person they were speaking of the nomination for about half a second, and then the rest of the time you were looking at the person before them, the person after them. It was all just a mess. They kind of worked through it later, but it was a mess. And the speeches kind of were all over the place too. They started that music on them quick. Boy, they were not having it. And Ricky Gervais just made sure they weren't having it with his speeches, going on rampages against award winners and the Globes throughout the night. I thought Leonardo DiCaprio had the best acceptance speech of the night. He actually put some purpose in there, talking about indigenous people, giving them a voice, saving our planet, all that wonderful stuff that you already know I'm all about. And it's just great that he continues to be such an amazing ambassador for so many different social issues, but primarily for our planet and making our planet a better place. So kudos to you, Leo. I thought you had the best acceptance speech. I thought Taraji P. Henson was kind of a mess up there. I didn't really know what was going on. She yelled at a guy for, stepping on her train. She handed Leonardo DiCaprio a cookie. It was fun, but it was definitely a mess. And then there was Quentin Tarantino, which I think was 8 shots in before he even took the stage, because, woo! Wow. As for the fashions, what in the world was Jane Fonda wearing? It looked like a lampshade stuck on the top of her dress. It was a disaster. Just terrible. And then I also thought when Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lawrence were up there on the stage, one looked fantastic, and then there was Amy Schumer. I thought that dress was just like nun meets parachute, and that's not a cute look. But Jennifer Lawrence looked fantastic. And so did the other Jennifer Lopez. Just stunning, flawless. I thought Ryan Gosling looked great. Somebody was on the red carpet with some freaking tennis shoes, though. His wife looked amazing, and, well, he was wearing some Jordans. I don't really know what that's all about. Guys, you've got to get on these women's levels. But for the most part, I mean, men, they all came in their black tuxes, blah, 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 boring old same fashion. That's why Ryan Gosling kind of stuck out in my head. Also, Lady Gaga, she looked fantastic tonight. I thought she really looked wonderful. She had a very Marilyn Monroe look, and I think she just looks so much better now. And I've grown to really like Lady Gaga because I kind of turned way off from her and her ridiculous antics. But did anyone else notice when she kind of pushed past Leonardo DiCaprio that look he gave her? I was on the floor. It was hilarious. So enough of all that, let's go ahead and get right into what we were actually here for, the awards. So this is a movie channel. I mainly am going to talk about the movies that went ahead and won. If you watched my prediction video, you'll know I failed miserably at predicting these Golden Globes. They were completely out of the blue with half of these choices. Starting right off the bat with the very first award of the night, Best Supporting Actress going to Kate Winslet. What? She was good, I'll give you that, but again, her accent was just so all over the place and was so central and in your face that I really didn't think she had a shot at winning, because I think that held the movie back from being a critical award show darling. I mean, Alicia Vikander, you were up for 2 and weren't able to nab a single award. And at least Jennifer Jason Leigh, I think, also deserved this more than Kate Winslet, but what can you do? The supporting category that I think garnered more attention, though, is Best Supporting Actor. First of all, because Sylvester Stallone won, which was predictable, but I just don't agree with the choice. Seeing him get up there at his age and having such a long career in Hollywood, I can't really be mad at Sylvester Stallone, but what really blew up all over Twitter is the fact that he did not thank Ryan Coogler, the director, or Michael B. Jordan, the main star of the film. He left out both people of color involved, and people were not so happy about it. Especially because this was happening multiple times throughout the night, where people of color on the productions were left out of acceptance speeches. So we'll see how that whole situation unravels over the next couple of days. Sylvester, everyone was so happy for you, and then you failed to mention Ryan Coogler on camera and tried to make up for it later when nobody was watching. Of course, Inside Out won for Best Animated Feature. Very predictable, but also made me very happy. Be watching over the next couple of weeks because I'll have a special Inside Out related video coming your way. But also, Best Score, so happy that The Hateful Eight won for that because the score was amazing. I hope you got a chance to see it in 70mm, got to see the roadshow version because they highlight that amazing score in an overture to start the film. Fantastic. I was stunned, though, that Writings on the Wall won for Best Original Song. I mean, it was an okay song. It was a decent James Bond song, but it definitely wasn't the best Bond song. Definitely wasn't the best song nominated tonight. The big categories overall only had slight surprises. Best Director, I was hoping, begging for them to give it to George Miller, but in my heart, I knew it was a bit of a long shot. Alejandro Inarritu winning is very good. I mean, innovative directing. He was fantastic in that film. His presence was all over it, and as I said, it was artistic choices that made The Revenant as fantastic as it was. So I'm not really mad. He would be definitely a close second in my book. Best Actress in a Comedy going to Jennifer Lawrence for Joy. The safe choice. The choice that I think was most awards-like. Best Actor in a Comedy going to Matt Damon. We all saw that coming, even though The Martian wasn't a comedy. The Martian winning Best Comedy. Again, I didn't think it necessarily deserved it. I think The Big Short should have won, or at least one of the comedies. But The Martian was the best film of the bunch. Then we had Best Actress, Brie Larson, given. Best Actor in a Drama, Leonardo DiCaprio, a given. And then Best Film going to The Revenant. Again, a slight surprise, but not really. It is a frontrunner going into the Oscars. So overall impressions, I hope this doesn't set the stage too much for the Oscars, because I think tonight really dampened some hopes on Mad Max Fury Road, getting those huge nominations we were all really hoping for. It's obviously making shortlists, still very much in the running for things such as Best Special Effects, but if you look over at the BAFTAs, it got ignored for all of the main categories, and here at the Globes, it got nominations, but it wasn't able to win, even though I think it was the strongest for directing, for sure. I'm also very stunned that Spotlight came home empty-handed. It seemed to be the complete favorite heading into awards night tonight. It has huge momentum. Obviously, it's been nominated literally for everything, and it's been winning Best Picture left and right on all of these other smaller awards. So to see it just come out completely empty-handed, not for screenplay, not for directing, not for any of the acting categories, or Best Picture, is a big shock to me. So we'll see what this brings for the Oscars. It makes me anxious for nominations later this week. But make sure you watch my Twitter feed. I'll be live tweeting during the nominations, like I was live tweeting tonight during the award ceremony. It was a crazy one. So, did you watch the Golden Globes? What did you think? Did anything surprise you? What was your favorite moment from the award show? And what did you think of the overall production? Let me know either in the comment section, down below, or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!